Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We are back with round 2 of locals. We are playing against Yummy, and we are also on pure Yummy here. So we lose the die roll. We got a bunch of names, and we got Bell and Purge. So we're gonna see how this plays out. He's gonna open with Lollipo, link into the Snatchy does not use his effect to place. I feel like you always want to use the effect here. I don't feel like Ogre is around very much, so but at the very least, you draw out an imperm if they have it. But he's gonna go ahead and go into a Lollipo, and he's gonna use Lollipo effect. This is an interesting play here, right? Because if I go Ghost Bell on it, he's still going to get value off of that Lollipo, right? And so he summons back 2, and then he goes into the Cupsy here. I opt to hold the Purge just because I don't know if he has names in hand, but I definitely want to keep him off of the surprise here. And so he's going to go special summon the Cupsy effect to add. I'm going to go ahead and Purge, and then he's going to chain the Lollipo to bring back a couple of his guys here. And he's going to go ahead and go into Star Ham. Star Ham's going to go discard a cookie that he... I can't remember if he added that or not, but he's going to go cookie to try to summon back a tuner, and then we're just going to go Ghost Bell here, try to keep him off of making a Herald with that right off the bat. And then from here, that Snatchy is negated, so he's going to opt to link into a second or third Snatchy here, just so that way he can have a couple more plays. And then from here, he's going to synchro off again into a Lollipo. He's already used its effect, both of them, and so he goes set 1, and then he's going to pass. We top deck into another Purge. Feels real good. Should be a good time. Probably get maximum value off of it here. But we're going to go Lollipo, no effect. And we go Snatchy. We don't go for the effect here just because we didn't want to trigger his synchro here, which I don't necessarily think was the correct play, because eventually here we're not going to get access to another Snatchy, I don't believe. We don't have access to the field spell, which is going to keep us from being able to beat over any of his guys, and he has his field spell up, and so we go into Cupsy effect to add. He's going to go ahead and flip Imperm, and then I am going to go his effect, and then he's going to go Bell. We're going to pause here for a second. I just want to see what that chain was, because it looks like, let's go back here. Sorry, you guys are just going to have to believe me when I say this. But we synchro into Cupsy effect to add, and then he's going to chain. Okay, so he chains his guy and then chains Imperm. Which I should have probably chained my guy to his guy. I'm not sure how that exchange went just now, but oh, I believe I chained my Lollipo. So he goes Lollipo to do his thing, and then I chain. He goes Imperm, and then I try to chain, and then he hits me with the Ghost Bell. And that's just going to be enough here. I have no normal summons. The Purge isn't really going to do anything here for us, and so we're going to scoop it up and go to game 2. So from here, we're siding in. We've opted to run the Gravity Collapse tech. I was testing out Featherstorm, but I feel like Gravity Collapse is just going to be better, just because it's low commitment, right? I'm always going to have a Synchro on board, and hopefully I have, the quick play to get it back anyways. But we are going to take out a bunch of our targeting negates here, right? So we have the 3 Fuas, we have the 3 Veilers. Make sure we're good there. And then we have Droplets, and then we have Gravity Collapse. And so we're hoping we'll see that. We are playing Prosperity in the main deck as well, so that's going to help us dig a little bit for to try to find that Gravity Collapse. But again, I don't think it'll be too bad here. All right, so we're going to give this a quick shuffle, and we will see how things play out. We are going to opt to go first here. So this is game 2, starting hand. We got Engage, Obedient Schooled, Called by Gravity Collapse, and something else I didn't quite catch. But then we go Engage, we're going to add Drones. And then, so he's got Fua. We go Called by. That is going to be fine. Okay, so we have the Mignon field spell. So we're going to go Obedient Schooled and then no response. And so we're going to chain the Drones. This is a nice play, right? If you guys didn't know, it helps you kind of play through Nib. Because if you get nibbed, the Drones token isn't going to leave the board. It just stays because it can't be tributed. And then typically if you go a Croaky, you're going to want to place, or if you go Obedient School, you're going to want to go with a Croaky as your snatchy place, which is what I do here. Just so that way, at this point, if we get nibbed, we're going to be able to play through it, right? So from here, we go into our Lollipo, or nope, this is Cupsy. Cupsy effect is going to add us the missing names here. Not that we're missing any names, I guess, since we went through Obedient School. But we are going to discard the... Look at what we have here. We're going to discard the field spell. Just because we're going to want to recycle things back into our deck. That was the thought process here, was I wanted more names in my hand, and the field spell can put back the 2 that I added off of Cupsy to replace the 2 in the graveyard from Obedient Schooled. So we summon out the Cupsy, add the surprise, and then we're going to put back those 3. We'll give them a cut, let them cut our deck, and then bottom deck the names and the Croaky, just so that way we don't get hit with like a Crow or something early on. We're going to take 2. And we go Lollipo. And then Lollipo is going to summon back a couple guys here, make sure they're negated. And we're going to go for Starham here. Starham will discard the Cookie, summon back the Cupsy, and then we go into a Snatchy, and then we have our field set up. We're going to set the Gravity Collapse, set the Surprise, and then we're going to pass it on over. So right now we got a possible Herald to look at. We got a bounce, or the bounce up, bounce summon 2, but he's going to lead with Dark Ruler, which is pretty good here. We still have access to a second Snatchy if we need to, but he's going to go normal, the Lollipo, and then we're going to flip Gravity Collapse, sending the Lollipo. And then he scoops it up there. He's not going to be able to play any more from that point, just because he's going to be reliant on whatever monsters he has, right? So that is the benefits of Gravity Collapse. Is nobody's really playing it, probably because it's bad, right? But I mean, if people aren't expecting it, that's fine. There is the issue of running into more of board breakers and stuff. So here we're going to side out the gravity collapses. We're going to side out the Trinity. We're going to side out droplets as well, just because those droplets aren't going to be any good if he goes into a Herald. All right, and then from here, we also side out, the Called By. That was my 9th card. So we're siding out 9, and then we're going to put in 3 evenly matched. We're going to put in the Fuwas. And then we're going to put in the Drolls as well. I knew that he was on the Fiendsmith variant just because I saw him doing some test hands earlier. And so I figured if we put in Droll, if he leads with Engraver, Engraver add Tract, drop Droll, he's not going to be able to go into the Tract, and he's not going to be able to add off of the Cupsy or either Cupsy. So I feel like Droll's not too bad into a matchup there. So we are going to go to game 3 here. One thing that I learned from Nate here was his play in game 1 when I had the Purge and the Bell. His first synchro action wasn't Cupsy, which is really interesting to me. I've always done Cupsy first, but he went Lollipo, right? To summon back 2, and it was interesting because it kind of plays around Bell, right? Is because if I go Bell to try to stop him, right, then he's still gonna get the 2 bodies and be able to go into Cupsy. So it makes me play a little bit awkward here. So we got looks like 2 Purges, a Imperm, an Ash, and a Cupsy. So that should be a pretty interesting start. We're going to see what he has here. He's going to go with Fiendsmith Sanct. He's going to make a token and then link the token into Requiem. And then from here, he's thinking on what he wants to do, which is probably a good thing, right? It's because typically if he has a name, you're going to summon out your name. He goes normal summon Droll, which is crazy. He's going to go Requiem to summon, at which point I'm going to Ash that. And so he's going to link into the Almirage, and we're going to see if he has a name. If he has a name, he just keeps playing. Fortunately, we have the Imperm, so if he goes name, Cupsy, I still have the Purge, so I'll be okay. But he's going to pass it on over on that. So we're going to go normal summon Cupsy. Effect of Cupsy. That gets ashed, which is fine. But we're going to go here into... We're going to link into a Snatchy. We are not going to use the Snatchy effect, just because we don't want to waste that Imperm. Or waste the effect if he does have Imperm. So we're going to use his line that he used on us, right? We're going to go into Lollipo to summon 2 back. So we're going to summon back Snatchy and Lollipo, and then from here we're going to go into Cupsy. We'll go Cupsy effect to add 2, and that is fine with him. And so we're keeping track that we normaled the Cupsy, special the Lollipo, so we're going to add both the Cupsy and the Cookie, since we haven't special summoned that, and we're going to pitch the second Purge, just because at this point he's not going to add on this turn, and I'm probably not going to need to do anything there. But he's going to go... He goes Imperm on the Snatchy effect to place, and then we're going to go Snatchy effect to Synchro, just so we can dodge that. Alright. And so we're going to be able to go into we're going to go into Cookie here, and then we're going to summon back some bigger bodies off of the Lollipo bounce. And then we're placing the field spell. We're going to place our Snatchy out, place a field spell. Excuse me. And then from here, we're going to go Mignon target to summon out the Lollipo. And that should be enough for game because everything's boosted by 2,000. He's got 0 on the Almirage, and then he has an Engraver in hand. And so that is going to be it. Yeah, I feel like I feel like I know Yummy fairly well. But I'm still learning a lot of it, different interactions, and so that was just really interesting because I've always gone into Cupsy as my first action, typically. But that was really interesting about going into Lollipo, summoning back 2, and then going into Cupsy from there, just so you have the names out. But yeah, still learning the deck, really enjoying it. Thanks for watching. Again, thank you for your support. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we will catch you guys on the next one. See ya.